But now that we have the design etched out onto the steel, onto the knife steel, we're using 01 tool steel. We can go ahead and start roughing it out. And here I like to just use a angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. I mean, you can use that. You could use a bandsaw. I do have a bandsaw. It just takes a long time. And because I'm using some pretty thick steel here, this is 3/16 tool steel, so it takes a lot longer on the bandsaw. And it's just a lot easier to do with the angle grinder. So besides doing the tattoo work, which we talked about before, I also do a lot of other types of artwork. We do graphic design work, and I'm a painter, and a lot of other hobbies. So knife making is just one more hobby I like to just mess around with. Definitely not an expert at this. This is just kind of showing you the way I like to do it, and the way I've seen other guys doing it. Yeah, getting in here to these little areas in between sort of the hand guard and the knife handle be a little tricky with the angle grinder, but if you just take your time, it's pretty simple. It's actually a little bit of fun. Always wearing proper protection, always wearing gloves, mask, eye protection, really important. So you can see at this point it's just very rough, but you get an idea of the basic profile. And at this point now we're going to take it on over to the grinder. And just slowly start to get rid of all the rough steel and bring everything up to the line. This has got to be my favorite part of making a knife. Just profiling it out. It's really simple. I'm roughing it out here with like a 40 grit, and just really takes off a lot of material really quickly. I have a variable speed grinder, so it's nice to slow it down and then try different grits. Use a finer grit, so it's a little more smooth. So when you go to make the center line for the bevel, it's a little nicer. I'm just showing here what we've done in profile so far. After we profile, we're going to go over and we're going to measure where the holes are going to be. We're going to punch where the holes are going to be. And here I like to take a little piece of paper and mark the edges and then fold it in half, and that'll give us the exact center. We have a basic mark where the holes are supposed to be, but when you profile it, you know, it's a little off, so you can find the exact center if you try this trick. Like I said, you can see here, just mark the edges and fold it in half, and that'll give you the center, and then you can go ahead and punch it. Works really good. You know, my knives are just really primitive. You know, I don't like the more polished, high polished. I'm looking for more of a kind of a in-between rough. I want them to look like they're handmade. I don't want, you know, if you want something that's perfect and polished, I mean, you can go to the store and buy something. I definitely want these pieces to look like they've been handmade. Especially in a world where everything is so mass-produced, it's nice to buy something that's kind of almost one of a kind, even though there's different models of the same thing. Here I like to just cut the holes the same size as the pins. That way it's a nice tight fit when you go ahead to assemble the knife handle. So I'm just checking my drill here, making sure it's the right size. Here we're drilling out the lanyard. It's 1/4 inch brass tubing I like to use for the landing hole. In our next video, we're going to be showing how we do the bevels. So just look out for part 3. Next step is, at this point, the next step is going to be just marking out the center bevel line. Did that with a Sharpie to darken the side of the steel, and then using a drill that's the same size as the steel, 3/16, and just over a piece of granite, just so it's nice and flat, just marking the center line. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you can catch our next video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.